Hi, it's YouTube's #1 wrestling show, if you were to count backwards. But guys, we always do Dropkicking the Beauty anytime that we have an interesting topic to talk about. And one of the topics that I thought was really interesting.
What have you heard about ladies?
So it was one of the things that, and I came across it, and I thought it was an interesting story. It came out about a week ago. It came out about a week ago. And it was an interview that they had done with Lita. And in the interview, they were kind of asking her about the state of the women's division and where does she think it might go and what she would like to see. And she said that she had overheard talks that WWE is in the works of bringing in a women's tag team division. Now, this is one of the things that we had talked about before with the women's division itself and how every time that they have a pay-per-view or every time that there's a title match, it's always a three-way or fatal four-way or battle royal or whatever the diva something. It's like there's no more
six-pack challenge.
Yeah, six-pack challenge. It's like they never do any one-on-one matches because they have too many divas and not enough titles to go around. So I was thinking it was like, if this is true, wouldn't this be a great idea to bring to the women's division?
If they're already bundling them all up, yes.
Mm-hmm. It's like then you can definitely give more light to multiple people as tag teams, and then still have your major stars have their single matches and not throw it into a gimmick match all the time.
If you, you have 3 hours of runtime on Raw that you're trying to fill in, right? You can use that with the 205 Live guys and the Cruiserweights. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, but that's not really hitting. It's not, 205 Live is not hitting like they thought it was going to hit. Mm-hmm. So, okay, fine, let's get that out of the way. And now let's insert more of the women. Mm-hmm. What sucks about it is that you're absolutely right. Right now that they're consistently doing that where they're grouping them. So what would be the difference between having them as groups or tag teams?
More champions and more spotlights on, because only Spotlight is the is the champion unless they do some type of grudge match between two people or multiple people or six people if they get up to that number. When they were doing their factions, when they were doing the welcoming committee and what was the other faction?
Well, they had the PCB with Paige, Charlotte,
so it's
Becky,
so they had those factions, and that was a way to give them more light. But if you had like tag team champions, then you could say like, oh, you have this group versus this group, or these set of people versus this people, and then also too, because they still have people in the wings right now. It's like they want to bring back Paige, they want to bring back, they want to bring up the people from NXT.
Nikki Bella is going to probably be coming back.
So when that comes out, it's like now you have all these superstars fighting over one belt. And then that's just basically saying, okay, six pack, fatal four-way. They're not going to get away with it without bringing more belts. The only thing they have right now is like we have one belt on two different
brands, right?
Yeah, so like one belt for this brand, one belt for that brand. So yeah, you got two champions, but then you still got like 30 people that you're trying to split that between, all fighting for that one belt.
Okay, so you give them the tag champs.
You give them the tag champs.
Do you make a women's intercontinental champion?
No, you don't go that far yet, unless you're going to give them your own show. If you're going to give a third title at that particular point, it needs its own show.
Or bring the European title back as women's European title. You can do that too.
I don't think that if they're not ready for another, like I said, I don't think they need a third title. I think they need a second title. If they're big enough to hold a third title, they're big enough to run their own show.
If they go the tag route, I think it's going to be pretty much the same. The only difference is that it's not going to be the same women all the freaking time. Like it's always going to be Bayley and Sasha.
No, you can have
now. It's different. Yeah. Now you got your tags.
Yeah,
your tag.
You can mix up the tag teams. Yeah, and it's like okay, we're not longer a tag team. We're going to become this, and then you can get real cute with it. It was like, oh, we have another cute name for this tag team. We split up. We're now this power tag team, and it's like it gives you more room to do something. And like I said, if you want to bring more people from NXT, then you could say like, hey, we're just bringing up another tag team to come fight. As opposed, and then when somebody is like, okay, I'm too big for a tag team, then you can put them back into the actual world title or diva title hunt, and then that way you can cycle through that, and then hey, bring somebody down. And it's like, okay, you're not working out. Let's move you to a tag team. It gives you more flexibility to do more things than what they're doing currently, and what they're doing currently is basically not giving enough light except to 4 people.
Right, and I think you're right on that. If it actually allows you to get those main event stars like Bayley, like Sasha, and book them differently to where it's more single competitions as far as the singles.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about it,
you can do it both ways.
They just put all this emphasis on the Mae Young Classic, and now we got somebody who won it. You're going to transition them in to do what?
Right.
to wait in the wings until like your top people decide to get injured or something like that, or put them into a match where it's not believable that they would come in and beat these top superstars just because they won a young man.
Well, you want to talk believable? Okay, Kairi Sane, who won the Mae Young Classic. Mm-hmm. Sorry if it's spoiler. There it is.
I think I've seen it.
There's no way that girl. Now she's talented. She is just awesome in the ring. Her as a in-ring performer, she's amazing. But there's no way in hell that her being like 5'2", 5'3" can beat Shayna Baszler, who was in UFC. There's just no way in hell. So that was not very believable, but it is what it is.
Hey, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio. We just talked about smaller people winning, but also too, it gives us an opportunity. So I mean, they have their gimmick match when they finally want to bring in Ronda Rousey. But then also too, like I said, it gives you more room to move around because they bring in Ronda Rousey.
I think that's a good point.
They bring in Ronda Rousey. If she truly wants to be a wrestler, it seems like that's where she's going, because it seems like MMA might be done for her, or she may transition it just to like a consistent part-time. They're gonna have to put her in a title run. So they have to put her in the main event matches, and now that's taken away from other people.
What sucks about that too is that they're going to probably treat Rousey as a Brock Lesnar type, which
they're treat her as a beast,
which kind of sucks because she hasn't earned anything in the WWE ring. UFC is a different story, obviously.
Well, but Brock was already a wrestler before he went there.
And he was undisputed champ. He was like, he already went through his wars with Taker, with Rock, with everybody. So he's earned it, in my opinion, to be a part-timer, big attraction. Right. Ronda Rousey is not. So
she's still a big name, so
she is a big name. That sucks. That's
Shamrock
what sucks about
didn't earn it either. He came,
but he was IC champ at the most. He was never world champ either. So, but anyway, either way, I think you're right. I think that the tag team division would actually help the women's division. It will help it by highlighting these female athletes, and on top of that, actually help with the single pushes on the other females. It's just, I think that because the Mae Young Classic was pretty successful, and you had some really great talent there.
The demand for the women. So it's like, bring back Glow.
Great talent in the Mae Young Classic. And what I liked about it the most was not all of the ladies that were involved were like all cut up.
And just like you didn't need models.
Yeah, you had all types of women that you probably see in the street, just like
on Glow Wrestling.
Big Bad Mama.
Bad Mama.
But regardless, that was a success. It highlighted the women beautifully. What's going to end up happening though is that they're going to have so much talent. They're gonna probably have to have a Glow Wrestling type,
I've been preaching it. I've been preaching it. It's like I said, even if it's a 30-minute show, put it on off weekends or something like that, and see how it does.
Well, look how good.
Put it on a WWE network. They're always trying to come up with new programming anyway,
content, right?
Yeah. So put it on there, see how it does, and if it does really well on it, then transition it to its own. But look, I'm sure a station will pick it up. Spike will pick it up like in a heartbeat.
That would be actually pretty cool. But look at how successful NXT is. Okay, so a women's program would actually be just like that. The thing that would kind of be would kind of suck is that you're not going to be able to really highlight them on the Raws, the SmackDowns, unless you're going to treat it like a female NXT where there are no women on NXT. This brand is for females, and then they get called up on the main roster through that show. That's going to be kind of where it's kind of like tough there. So
separate it from the main show, or
you have SmackDown, you have Raw, then you have NXT, which
have no titles on this WWE Glow Wrestling. Have no titles on it.
Yes, have a title, but it's not the main roster titles.
Okay.
So you have NXT for let's just say NXT's for the guys, and then WXT. WXT is for the girls. I'm just saying. Let's just say, right? I don't know. So they do it that way. Then they can call to the main roster from those two extensions.
Okay.
They're both developmental. They're both the ladies. They get to work on their craft, their promos, and all that stuff on them, and then they get called to the main roster, and then you can go in that way. I think that would actually work. That would actually.
I just think that they have right now, because they pushed this whole diva thing and them being like a legit you know, a legit brand for them, that they now have this stable of, it's before when it was valets wrestling, and it was like it's people's girlfriends.
Very different.
It's like they're not managers. When when it was valets, when it was managers, when it was girlfriends wrestling, it's different. It was like, oh, we can think about it for a little bit, we can make a gimmick match, and then it can fall to the wayside and nobody cares. Now you have legitimately brought in a crop load of good female wrestlers who also can be models and who can actually carry the brand, but then now you're so overcrowded with them, you don't have enough to do.
Right.
So I know NXT's out there, and I know they get to wrestle on NXT, but I mean, I think it's getting to a point where they need a little bit more. There's like 4 shows for the men in wrestling. It's like they basically have part of 2 shows.
Right. I agree with you. Well, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the female expansion and actually having females have their own shows, having tag teams as female tag teams, different titles for women. I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Terrence, take us home.
All right, as always, I'm scouring the internet and the wrestling blogs to kind of find out all the interesting news and topics to talk about. So if you guys hear anything, definitely let us know in the comments below. We'd love to talk about interesting topics and interesting things that make you kind of go, but as always, make sure you like and subscribe so that way you know about all the other different videos that we have coming out, as well as telling us that you still like that we talk about wrestling.
For Aspen in the back, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time. Kari Singh.
We were able to do the trailer review with no notes. Well, more or less you were just reading the notes of the actual trailer, but no real notes. So we can do this. Yeah. We can freeball this, sir.
We'll freeball it.